Good morning, Cyprus. Today I will make myself more valuable than I was yesterday. And if I do that every day, then I will beat depression, defeat self-loathing, and I'll achieve happiness. And who knows, I might even increase my value and earn some fucking money. That would be great, wouldn't it? So, this is Steve Mandy from South Africa, and I'm involved with art. I'm a painter. I'm 66 years old, and I live in Wales and somewhere else. Now, how can you possibly live in Wales and somewhere else? Fact is, I haven't decided where somewhere else is. For at least 3 months of the year, I escape the Welsh winter and go somewhere a bit warmer or a bit interesting. And it's not really just about the winter, which it is kind of, because I really can't deal with cold winters, but it's also about experiencing new places. So I'm going to be in this podcast, I'm going to be talking about the places that I'm visiting and what they're about and what I think they're about. And my experiences here. And then I'm going to also be kind of focusing on creativity as a tool to get yourself out of a rut. Now, so many people are in ruts, and they kind of look at their lives and think, why? Why do I get up in the morning? What is the point? So creativity is the one thing that can turn that around, and that's what this podcast is going to be all about. So in terms of my own creativity, I've obviously been a painter. You're sort of expected to be creative, but it's not always the case. But sometimes you're just copying something. Like, for example, if you're doing a portrait, what you're doing is you're really just copying what you're seeing in front of you. That's not creative. Creative is when you add something else to it. And I get involved with fashion. I'll come back to a little bit later. My latest fun thing that I like to do is marketing, using digital marketing. I create websites and things like that. And finally, videos. I love making videos, and I'm making this video because it's kind of what I like doing. So that's also a creative thing. What I want to achieve in this podcast is I want you as the viewer to improve yourself in some way every day that passes. I want you to learn something, anything that might add value to you as a person. And I want you to make progress every single day, no matter how small. I want people to listen to this podcast and get addicted to the habit of being creative. So, like for myself, I cannot go more than a couple of days without doing something creative. It's kind of a need that's built in me, and people have that need, but they don't know what it is that they're yearning for, and it is creativity. So I want people to know that being creative isn't just a fun thing to pass the time. It's actually a very important element in stable, balanced living. And I want people to start living with the addiction of creativity. I want people to know that creativity improves mental health. And that's something that I'm going to be touching on quite a lot in this podcast. I want people to feel inspired by what they see and hear on this podcast. I know you don't really see things on podcasts, but you feel them. And I want people to put aside time for being creative. I want them to know that the reason that they're feeling unfulfilled, dissatisfied with their lives is probably partially because they've neglected this very binding element which is creativity. And without creativity, you're very vulnerable to things like depression. So I want you to get excited about the possibilities. So my kind of aim is to get you fired up so that you can go out there and say, oh, I'll give that a go, and go out and I can do something. I want to get feedback from people who follow this podcast and get real value from it. And I want someone to listen to this podcast, say, fuck it, I'm gonna do that, and off they go. And I want people to paint images or abstracts or create videos or whatever it is they want to do, content for social media. And I want people to enjoy that process as I do. So I'm going to remind people every time they tune into the podcast that they must do something creative. They must create something. So today you must learn how to do something. Part of the creative process is learning. If you learn something new, you've created a knowledge within you. It's part of creation. So if you go onto YouTube and you discover how to, I don't know, apply your makeup in a different way, or fix a shelf, whatever it is that you've been struggling with, those are the things that kind of make you feel excited. And that excitement is really endorphins, which are being released into your body because you did something. It doesn't happen by itself.